It's another day. And here is the carburetor again. I know, no, it's not rebuilt yet. This morning I have put it back together mostly. Well, except, yeah, you see the float is still there. The needle is out. Yeah, that's fine. I wanted to put this top bit back together because I didn't take any photos of it. And I could not. I spent a little while this morning just figuring out how to put all of these gubbins back together. So that was a little bit of a job. There's some good videos out there, but just the wee little bits and pieces, little tiny springs that hold throttling meter, needle, I don't know what, together. I just wanted to piece those back together before I went any further. This top bit here was the part that was worrying me. I wanted to put it together, get some video, get some pictures of it, so I'd know, while it's still kind of fresh-ish in my mind, before going any further, so that's what I did. Got some books out, to help me along. Got my tools here, got my rebuild kit, got some juices and sprays, I got some water. So I'm gonna see if I can get this rebuilt. And who wouldn't want to see that? I don't think anybody would. So I'm just gonna work on that now, and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so a little bit later on, and where are we at? Well, I think I have rebuilt it to the point I want to. I got, the internals cleaned up and things all put back together. And it's doing carburetor things, Look at that, it looks like a carburetor. Doing carburetor stuff. I have replaced these things inside, not much, of course. New gasket, yep, of course. The accelerator pump and spring that went along with it was replaced. A couple of jets that were underneath this plug, an inner and outer jet in there were replaced. That was in the kit. A new needle and seat that were here up just, of course, under the float bowl, right under where the fuel line come in. Those were replaced. Other than that, I did an adjustment on the float bowl to make sure it doesn't, the sag on it and where it stops is correct. And then it's just, opening up these different plugs and cleaning out the galleries. A couple of them were plugged up pretty good. And that was about it, just getting it reassembled. This is, a couple sprays of carb cleaner and it loosened right up, so it's feeling good now. Figuring out how to reassemble the spring back here. Oh my goodness, that took me a while. Getting this loopy spring to connect back to the accelerator pump, and this, because I didn't take a picture of this. Ugh, man, that was tough. But anyway, so that is as far as I'm probably going to go with that. All that's left is this dust cover needs to get put back on. And I saved that for this little piece of video because I figure, it's an easy, quick job. Are you enjoying this piece of the video? right. So the dust cover's back on, and now all that's left to do is to take that new gasket and go and put it back on the car. And I will hook back up the vacuum line, just one vacuum line on this. I cleared out the idle screw, and you know, it's kind of where we're at, so I will go put that back on the car. Okay. Let's lay that down. Careful. Okay, just a little bit later on. Got the carburetor on. And, you know, haven't hooked everything up. Don't need to yet. I've got this vacuum line. There it is. It was clogged up. So I've unhooked it here, and I've unhooked it from the distributor, which is where it hooks up to on the other end. And I've blasted some carb cleaner through it, and I've got it aired out. It's unclogged, so I'm letting it dry out. Tools are out, cans are out. I've taken the battery cables off the car because I'm gonna replace those. They are pretty crusty. Positive side cable. Yeah. It's like an artifact from when mammoths walked the earth. I'll just replace those. Yeah, you notice too, I got the valve cover pulled off just to take a look to see what we're up against. There is the rocker arm that is busted. Looks like it is probably an exhaust on an exhaust valve. There is certainly, and of course it's missing its rod, there is certainly a rod that is bent. Here is, on this rocker arm, the valve adjustment screw is gone. You see, like this has here, it's missing here. So that will have to be replaced. As you recall in another video, got plenty of parts for that. Just by looking here on the top end, I can't tell anything else just by looking at it. Of course, these things happen because valves are stuck. So, you know, once I get this all pulled off, we'll do some whacking, see if all the valves are loose. I've got the spark plugs pulled out. I'll squirt some of Grandpa's old cough syrup down there. But first I want to take my little probe camera, see if I can see anything down there. So I'm going to do that as a little test. See if we can take a look at anything. The spark plugs, I don't know if they didn't say anything. So they all look the same. They didn't really look really used at all. So anyway, so I'll see if I can see anything with that little camera. Maybe something, maybe nothing. It was a cheap Amazon camera, so we'll have a look. So here we're going into the engine, into number 1 cylinder. Trying to see what we can find. Looking for any signs. The cylinder wall is looking pretty good. I will say, I'm going to have to go back into the cylinder because right on top of the cylinder head, I couldn't see this in real life, but there's a little mark there if you see it on the right hand side quickly, especially as I back out of here. Don't Don't know what that was. Hopefully it was just the way the shadow hit that top of that cylinder. Hope that wasn't a hole on the top of that cylinder. A bit worrying that. But anyway, so I'll have to go back in and check that out. Number 2 cylinder going in, you know, it looks fine. A little bit of surface rust on the cylinder wall, but otherwise, no, you know, fine. A little carbon buildup on the top of the piston. No surprises there from what I can see. You know, the camera that I'm sticking down in the chamber there can only see so much. I can't twiddle it around too much. It's not really built for this. Number 3, piston's right up there at the top, so can't see too much. Just twiddling it around a little bit. Number 4 is the same. It's right up there at the top, so not much to see here. Number 5. Number 5 looks okay as I go down in. Same kind of thing. Carbon on the top of the piston. Just some surface rust on the cylinder walls, but you know, looks okay. And just as I was getting to the number 6, the Wi-Fi just cut out, and I could not get it back to look into number 6. So that was the end of that. All right, I tried to reconnect that camera so I could see down the 6th cylinder hole there. I could not get the Wi-Fi to reconnect to that camera, so maybe another time, but it's not going to be today. The sun is creeping in, so I'm going to call it for this afternoon. But you know, that was some stuff done for today, and that's fine. I'm having to constantly remind myself to just, you know, take my time here. It's not like fixing your daily driver, you know, where you need this vehicle back in service ASAP, you know. That's not what it's about. So it's just about tinkering with something you love. So that's what it's about. So I enjoyed working with the old girl today. So we're gonna stop right there, and we'll pick it up another time. That's it for this one. See you again. Bye.